Okay. So you have your cover here. Don't worry about the holes. Yeah, it's not supposed to be there. So after you would put the holes in your paper, take your needle and thread. You go in the back here for this first one, the top hole. Pull it nearly all the way through. You want a bit of a tail so you can tie it off later. You come out through this hole, this next hole down. Pull your string through. And get your first sheaf of actual paper, not the covers. So this would be the cardstock and this would be the normal paper. You take your string, it's coming out this hole of the cover. I'm going to want to put it through the top hole. So this hole of your paper, not this hole. This one. Put it through there. Pull it all the way through. The paper's going to want to misalign at first. Then you take a needle, come out the next hole down from your paper. Pull that through. And then loop it back through the second hole of your cover. Pull it all the way through. Now it should start actually holding itself together. Sort of. After that you would come out to the next hole down in your cover, and then you would come back up to this hole on your paper. Back to the second hole. Pull it through. It's going to keep wanting to misalign here. You're going to keep fighting it because later you could tie a knot up through here that will keep it up. And then you would go to the next hole down in your paper, pull it all the way through, go through the third hole again in your cover, like that. Go through the next hole, or depending on how many holes you have in your paper, the last hole. Pull it through. Go back to the third hole of the paper. Pull it through. And here, when you come out the last hole of the paper, you're going to want to grab your next sheaf of paper and go into from the bottom hole of the first sheaf of paper to the bottom hole of the second sheaf of paper. You just pull it through. Then when you come out the next hole of the second sheaf of paper, what you would do is you would take it, push it between the cover and the first sheaf of paper, like that. Up, deck, correct. Or since it's the first stitch here, you can just kind of run it around like that. Then when you stick it back through, you want it to be above the so here you can't really see it, but there's a bit of string here and a bit of string here that connects to the first sheaf and the cover. You want to go around both of those strings as you're attaching the second sheaf of paper. So when you pull it tight, it forms kind of a loop here. That's very good. You can't really see it, but it starts here, kind of goes around those and comes back out. And then you put it back into the hole your string is coming out of right now. And when you do that, and you pull it tight, it'll bind the papers together, it'll pull them together, because of that loop you put around the stitching that connects them. And then you do that again up here with the next one. You come out of the next hole up from the paper, you go around the stitching, keeping the first sheaf of paper and the cover together, all the way around it. And then you go back into the hole that you first put the string through in the second sheaf of paper. Pull that through, and then you make another little loop around that stitch. And then it'll pull it together more. And then when you come out the last hole here, you would then start the process again, attaching another sheaf of paper. And you keep doing that until you get to the cover. You do the same process with that other cover. Then once you reach the last hole of that cover, you really just have to tie it off in a way that you think is secure. And after that, you should be good. Just kind of how you do a binding of a book. And with this tail here, where you started with the first cover, you also just need to tie that off in a way where it won't really slip around any. But then after that, you should be good.